Well, ladies and gentlemen, now that we are all present here, we can start with this great panel. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers of Agro Belgrade 2025. So we can conclude that this is a great fair that would result in many contracts, and it will send a great message to the world. As my colleague said, today's panelists are great interlocutors on the topic in the field of fruits and vegetables. So just to clarify, instead of Aleksandar Marković, we will have Mr. Bajija from ITN Group Serbia. So this is a quite good topic which generates a lot of interest. So let's start from Mrs. Anna Bošnjak. So you deal with the production of the fresh blueberry and Serbian sector of blueberries developed strongly. So how the Agrobel system managed all these things? Thank you very much. Apart from raspberry production, we also deal with other berries production. So we close up this system of berries production. As you said, this is a quite demanding product. We started only with our production, but given that the demand in Serbia and internationally went up, in 2019 we established the farmers network quite cautiously, and we expanded our network of technologists and engineers, and I can say that we had a fully developed sector. So there are more than 100 of farmers that we collaborate with, about 150 hectares under berries, and the blueberries are the most demanded product, and it grows over the years. But given that the climate has been changing, it's important to monitor these things and to introduce the system of quality that would meet the requirements internationally and nationally. Mr. Novaković, so the prune or the fresh plum is your main product, and we've heard about that at the previous presentation. What can you tell us about the international market? What is important there? When it comes to the plums, many expect that the German market is the great one, that is a golden era for us there. But we exporters have to meet the standards and to fulfill the quality that they expect, so that it can produce a result and that we achieve, what can I say, a good quality, and to meet the requirements and the expectations of our buyers. So they are the best. So we need to have the best partners, the best colleagues to work on this market. In the past 3 years, we are the leading company in plum export, more than 3.5 tons of plums. We export a Lidl, Metro, Norma. Supermarkets or hypermarkets are main buyers, and I think that in Europe we have to really fight. So apart from this, what are other cultivars or produces that are demanded in the EU market? As we saw in the previous presentation, it can be a cherry, maybe apricots, but I'm not sure about the apples. I'm not. I have no competency. I'm not competent for that. So plum is our first article. Mr. Abajic, ITN Group, we can say, bought Budimka company a couple of years ago, and it's a great mover. And you helped a lot of farmers who produce various produces in that area. So how can we start from this? So how the recovery of Budimka company occurred? So how Budimka helped the other farmers? So ITN Group has been operating since 1992, and our main principles are synergy of knowledge, then all the items that are important for the agricultural sector. So Foodtech, Agrotech, and Agro Poland are our branches, and so it was natural that we acquire Budimka at the end of 2017. So when we invested into the equipment and redesign, we started the production in 2020. We are in the midst of the fruit growing area. First of all, I'm thinking here about the raspberry and apples. And it was natural to offer to the farmers to buy the other type of fruit from the farmers. So the first thing that we did was a revival of a Budimka company, and we wanted to use the old recipes of our grannies, and we want also to return to the EU market. That's our focus, and we also started with the production of preserves, jams, and juices, etc. And as Eco Poland, we've been present at various international markets, so more than 93% of our export is internationally to the EU market. So we just wanted to increase our capacity. Budimka is focused on the local community. We established a contact with the local high school in Požega, and we helped them to create modules for the students there. So the ideas are great. Not only that we are present in Požega, but the entire western part of Serbia is well known by the production of berries. So the opportunities are really great. Thank you very much for the information. Mr. Sandford, we are particularly interested to show us, given that you are coming from UK, what is the market in UK at the moment? Are there any changes or trends that were present last year? And what do you consider to occur in 2025? Do you expect great changes in the market this year?
Changes in the market. Just looking at the commodities where I notice the biggest increase in interest, then I would have to say, firstly, that I would put berries into that sector. And then I think after that, probably pears. The apple market in the UK is pretty stable. The trends that I see are actually towards a better quality and larger sizes for the independent sector, which is really where I'm most focused. With the supermarket sector, which I have to confess I don't serve, but where I have many friends, so therefore good flows of information. The tendency is either towards a very, very high quality and large size specification, but in general, because in the UK, probably as in most of the rest of Europe, we're also suffering from a cost of living crisis. There is also a tendency to buy smaller or medium sizes, which I think would be beneficial for apples and probably pears as well. And sometimes, although they have to meet certain category and quality criteria, you will find that the elements such as the cosmetic appearance won't be as important as it was previously.
How do you see Serbia? As far as I know, you are the second time at Agro Belgrade Fair. What, in your opinion, can be a major benefit or advantage?
When I came here last year, I'd never visited Serbia before, and I was really surprised at the level of professionalism that I found out here. I am convinced, actually, that Serbia has the potential to be the garden of Europe in the way that Spain was in the 1980s and 1990s, in the way that Morocco established itself as a major supplier to European markets through the 2000s and the 2010s, and in the same way that Egypt is now developing itself. You have, from what I can see, enormous advantages in Serbia. You've got a good climate, you've got very fertile soil, you've got plenty of water. Spain are running out of water, or at least they always have issues with it. The Moroccans are having to use desalinated water to sustain their agricultural production. Egypt is entirely reliant on the Nile. So you have plenty of water. You have a lot of expertise. You have, again, I can only speak as an Englishman, and you will probably tell me differently, but it seems to me that you have a very well-educated workforce. The educational system in Serbia, from what I've been told and what I've learned, is very good. You have, I would say, a flexible and adaptable workforce. You've got a very good transport network through Europe to the UK. I think a lorry with 2 drivers will hit the UK in 2.5 days, 3 days maybe. I know friends of mine have established working partnerships over here with a number of growers, particularly in the berry sectors. I bought Serbian apples from a UK importer this year to supply a specific customer. They were very good. There appears to me to be a willingness to take on board the requirements of the UK market, and I think if you can find your partners in the UK, it's something that you can build on and sustain. It's not as, dare I say, as transactional as dealing with the Dutch or the Germans, where the price is the price is the price. You can develop a relationship where you will also get information about, we would like you to grow this because we have this kind of demand for it. And I think the future is very bright for the Serbian agricultural sector.
Thank you so much. Hvala vam, gospodine Sandford.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sandford, for these great messages. I agree with you that price is, in principle, not the most important thing. But when you ask our growers, and they will say that the major problem is the price. So in Serbia, everything starts from the price. But in any case, thank you very much for your opinion. Mrs. Bošnjak, let's get back a little bit to the sector that you are involved in. I'm interested in how much do you have to invest into the promotion in order to reach certain customers? Are the prices or investments into promotion are justifiable? And how important they are in your operation? Well, we as the wholesaler and seller in general, we do not have much benefit from it, but at the very start of our production we needed to visit every trade fair and to invest in that type of marketing and of course into education. But at the very start it helped us a lot to expand our customers network abroad. But the most important thing for our commodities is the quality, and the customers recognize that, and we started in Serbia first, and we positioned ourselves here, and we went through all the stages, and we felt brave enough to send our products to Russia, UAE, but we cannot do that overnight. We need a lot of effort, a lot of investment into that, a serious team, experts, to be at a high level to maintain the quality and continuity. So we invested into marketing, and we are still doing that. But in fact, quality and the health of our products is the most important. It's the key things. On the other side, how do you consider these trade fairs? So what do you think about these fairs? Are the B2B meetings the most important? So do you find these trade fairs important? So my impression is that the Agro Belgrade is very good. The fact that we are getting back every year shows that. But given the size of the company, it's important to establish the contact with new customers, and we need to open new markets. So British or UK market is a potential market, and we need certain time, and we think that everything comes in right time. But such events are very good both for the producers and others. So wherever you can meet and sign a good contract, it's important to have it. So Mr. Novaković, we talked about your exports. You export into 16 countries, and you told us how important our Serbian plum brand is. So how many growers, how many farmers do you collaborate with? Well, we expanded that number. So we have more than 200 growers. Those are smaller households, and that's the main issue that we face. So how to introduce those households into the safety system, and they need to get the global CAP certificate. All German chains require to have certain procedures regarding the treatment of fruit. So we have to collaborate with the growers so that they know how to treat the fruits, so that we can sell them to the EU market. When you work with such a large number of growers, it's the major problem for them to observe all these requirements. You had certain issues, but how do you overcome such situations? So we have been operating for 12 years. So we started in 2013, and that stability and collaboration is growing over the years, and we work more and more, so the quantity and quality is better over the years. So we had less than 1% of complaints last year, and we paid everything that we owed to our growers. So that's one of the advantages. So when we get the message from Germany that our products are really great, and that is something that just motivates us. Do you know the price of the fruit in advance when you negotiate with your growers? Well, the price goes up over the years, and given that growers are expanding their orchards, well, it's not much demanding for them. So, but the fact that they grow their orchard, it means that they are happy with the collaboration. Do you suggest them what type of, what variety of fruit they have to buy? Yeah, mostly the Czarczynska variety, Stanley, then Czarczynska plum and beauty, etc. So, but Germans use some new varieties, and they send to me the brochures. They suggest the other varieties for us to use in the future. But our market needs some time to adapt to that and to accept the new varieties. Maybe in a couple of years we can become good. The old varieties are okay, but we need to be trendy, so to say. And it's important, and we have to work on that a little bit. Mr. Abajic, we talked about Budimka company and acquisition of Budimka, how important it is for the growers this year. Let's touch upon the frozen fruit. Your company has been identified as one of the major producers of that type of fruit. So can you explain this process from the purchase of the fresh fruit to the sale? When it comes to the plan, the key thing is the purchase of the fruit from the growers. Raspberry is present for a month or 2 months, so we need to plan the size, the quantities, and to visit the growers. Our advantage is that we have the-integrated plans for the treatment of the raspberry, because our exporting markets are quite specific. They require certain measures, and there are really strict controls at the border for organic products, and Serbia is, if I can say, under the radar. When it comes to the treatment. So the key part is the purchase of the fruit from the growers. We have the 1-year contract with the large retail chains. Based on our previous experience, we planned for the next year. And over the years, the amounts that are purchased from the growers is bigger. So, yeah, of course, we would like to know the price in January and to calculate it easily. I'll just give you an example. So 20 ton is the weight of our track, so the raspberry bark. So 5 cents is, in that case, the price. Maybe doesn't sound much, but it is. But you have to plan everything in advance. And so the visits to the trade fairs, most of us are here present here because of the B2B. We talk with the companies. Some of the companies sell to the end users, but the personal touch with the customers at such events is very important to exchange our experience. So based on all these things, we design and we plan, and then we monitor the implementation of the contracts. As all of us are aware, that markets are quite volatile and based on the historic data and the current situation, which is quite changeable. And we can say that Veljko showed the slides of Germany as the largest importer. We can see how the situation is, but it's in life. One closes, the other door is opens for us, and we turned towards Emirates, India, China. So the most important thing is adjustment and the resilience and long-term planning. So that is something that makes possible for us to grow over the years. And through synergies, we manage to raise the production to a larger level. We were, in 2002 and 2003, we were witness of the problems with the raspberry. There was a surplus of raspberries, and there was a problem with the prices. Did the market change? Is the situation better now? And what do growers say, those that you collaborate with? Well, that was quite challenging year for all of us. For the cold stores and for the processors and for the clients and for the growers and farmers. So we reached the historical price level. We are speaking about the eco-pollen production. So many people, because they learned about the benefits of antioxidants, they started consuming more our products. But on the other side, the COVID in a way helped us to store the fruit in our refrigerators. And that year we had the price was about 600 Serbian dinars per kilo, and now the end users didn't want to pay so much, which led to a financial challenges. So it led us to financial instability. But as of 2023 and the fourth quarter of that year, a slight recovery started, and the price dropped by 60% to about 240 Serbian dinars, which led to reintroduction of and better consumption of the raspberry. So 2024 had the similar price. Veljko also mentioned that the major focus became our production and growing. I think that we talk more about the procurement and how to expand the growers' base, and how to stimulate and how to motivate them and how to pay them in advance. So that is the major battlefield today. So there's a great opportunity for us. The ideally, we should not have so much volatility. Serbia is among the 5 top producers and exporters of raspberry. Not to mention only raspberry, I would like to mention the sour cherry and plum, and there are similar problems. And when I see the slight drop in the past couple of years, this is something that we shift our focus on, and but with some smaller changes because of this quite rough market. I believe that it's not easy to anyone in this entire chain And we who sell the product, we have some challenges. I don't want to go into details, but the opportunity exists and everything is getting back to normal, and some healthy habits of consuming fruit remained. You cannot go to any largest town without a billboard showing the smoothie with fresh raspberries or any other berries. So there is a coordination between the participants, but that's the reason why we are here today and what we have to work in the future. Thank you very much, Mr. Albertich, on this.
Gospodine Sandford,
Mr. Sandford, in which segment UK fresh fruit and vegetables market is the best for Serbian exporters? Because it's a new market for most of us. In which segment of your market could you see the possibilities or opportunities for our companies?
Certainly with berries. There's an increasing demand, and as I've said, the demand for berries will continue to increase. So if you can expand your growing season, then I feel that any Serbian berry producers with the right standards of quality and certification will improve and increase their market share. I think on apples, I see no reason why you shouldn't emulate the success that Poland has experienced in the UK. I think that's an area that, again, if you have the varietal development, and I don't know whether any Serbian growers have licenses to grow varieties such as Pink Lady or Jazz or Cameo, but if they do, then they will certainly find customers, and specifically supermarkets, ready to engage, I think. In other commodities, I have actually been asked by two customers, supermarkets, to explore what the possibility is of procuring melons from Serbia through the course of the summer. And personally, I'm interested to explore possibilities in grape, in kiwi fruit, in stone fruits, so certainly apricots, and why not plums? Yeah, there are very big plum producers. And I also want to explore the possibilities in brassicas, so cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, for the spring and autumn periods. And after that, really, I'm open to suggestions. I'm a trader rather than somebody who programs business in. So I work on an open market on a daily basis. But I'm, as I say, open to suggestions. We sell capsicums, we sell aubergines, we sell tomatoes. I know Serbia produces all of those things. It's just a case of finding, on my second trip, the partners that hopefully I met last year. Like as I said earlier, I feel that Serbia has much to offer the UK, and I'd like to think that we in the UK can increase the volumes of business that we do with the nation.
A šta bi bile vaše preporuke našim proizvođačima?
What would be your recommendations to our producers who would like to enter the UK market?
What would be my recommendations? Study your market. Read online about developmental and varietal trends if you are intending to approach the UK supermarket sector. You have to bear in mind that we are very now ethnically diverse in the UK, and things that we wouldn't have entertained 20, 25, 30 years ago are now quite commonplace. I think if you look at the development of different commodities in the UK, you'll find an increasing amount of tropical and subtropical fruits, and perhaps a slight decline in the consumption of normal things like apples. So I would suggest that if you wanted to see what things are really worth, all of the supermarkets will publish online lists of availability and their packs and their varieties and prices. It will give everyone a good guide as to the expectations of quality. But certainly when it comes to innovating new varieties, new commodities, probably the best thing is to speak to the independents, because they will tell you a lot more as to what is going on at a grassroots level. From that, I think you'll be able to come along with proposals to introduce those commodities to the retailers. I'm sorry, you should bear in mind that something like 80 to 85% of all fresh produce in the UK is sold by 12 retailers. That doesn't sound like it leaves a lot, but I believe the estimate for consumption of fresh produce next year is somewhere around £32 billion sterling. So on that basis, if there's only 20% of that left, it's a big sector.
Thank you, Mr. Sandford. Gospođo Bošnjak, za vas jedno pitanje.
Mrs. Bošnjak, one question for you. What kind of berries has a good prospects to become a new trump card of Serbian fruit sector? In my opinion, is raspberry, especially consumption raspberry. We've been having problems in this sector despite our efforts and investments. Simply, we cannot make the producers change their way of thinking and way of work. So we have the biggest challenges and difficulties in this area. But so with our producers and together with our farmers, we cannot meet demands of the Serbian markets, not to mention the world market. So we have a lot of opportunities, but we don't have enough products, enough raspberries, because it's very vulnerable variety, very vulnerable kind of fruit. For transport requires specific conditions, so we have to work more in this area to transport fresh raspberry to the world market. So we have to unite our efforts, including the faculties, institutions, to plant more raspberries and to see how can we motivate the local farmers to increase the size of their raspberry farms. It's a long-term process. Each season is a new challenge. Sometimes people get disappointed. They invest a lot of efforts and they don't get required quality, because a good quality can achieve a good price, but what is not the first quality class cannot achieve good prices. So not all of them are ready to accept our recommendations. Sometimes they do something on their own and they cause problems for all of us, because raspberry, as we all know, is very, very sensitive and requires huge investments at start. Right now, we started growing it in vases. Should we be open for new varieties? Yes, these are all the models we are using. We have two very good varieties, which are like a pilot project. They are easy to transport, and then we developed this rain cap protection from the rain in order to control the production and the harvest, and that's how we extended the berry season. The raspberries are available already in May, and if we don't have a harsh winters, the harvest can last till November. But for the domestic market, we extended the season in the vegetables market, and we also have greenhouses. They all offer a huge potential, but it's also a huge investment. So Serbia really should increase the production of certain varieties, but we have to change our way of thinking, way of work. We have to invest both knowledge and money. Mr. Novaković, what would be your recommendations to our local farmers? Speaking about the plum, apples, and other fruits producers, we know that the EU market requirements are very strict in this sector. What should they pay attention to in particular? The main focus should be placed on plants protection. During the export, how to protect these products, how to say we are obliged to do some analysis, phytosanitary inspection should be engaged for each producer last and the previous year. We could see that during the season decision was made to make analysis for each export package, and if you have, for example, one track for more producers, you have to pay more, and then you don't fit into export prices. That's a problem we have to deal with more carefully. Protection fruits. Also new varieties, we have to accept them, which are acceptable already in Europe in order to be competitive in the future, in the coming years. Right now we are trying to fill these gaps in Germany and other countries, but definitely we have to adopt new varieties. To what extent is education of local farmers important? It's very important. Who should be engaged or involved in education of local farmers? I know it's a difficult question. It's a phytosanitary service, but unfortunately we don't have enough projects in this area. Certain certificates are required. It would be good for both for our exporters, but I do hope that European countries will remove us from some red list which we are on right now, because it initially increases the prices of our products. Thank you very much. Mr. Abajic, I also would like to ask you about the frozen fruits, about the challenges you have experience regarding the marketing of frozen fruits on the world markets. One of the bigger challenges was price in the local market, where the states, for example, speaking about the berries, Ukraine in 2022 and 2023 offered lower prices on the world market. So these were big challenges for us, which caused disturbances both for us and our competitors, and some investments we had should be paid off to all players. On the other side, we have to make many standards stricter, and we have to respect all standards in terms of protection of fruits, etc. This is something which in the nearest future will be present, and should be our focus, but despite of that, our potentials are huge with some synchronization of all producers and exporters. We could achieve some results through educations, through some field trips to educate them why something goes into the first-class product, why something doesn't meet the certain requirements, etc., etc. What costs would be for the company itself. So the key thing is to meet such a drastically quick changes, such as the wars, which we cannot affect, and this the fifth industrial resolution, which brings new challenges. But we all are on the same boat. We shouldn't complain and whine. We should see what we can do. And as my colleague said, we should be consistent. We should be consistent. Sometimes we started from scratches or even from minuses for a certain period of time, but just to be able to enter certain market, and then after some time we manage. So we have to be consistent, not to follow or monitor the situation within the 6 months or 1 year, but in long terms. These are very important things and elements to overcome these problems. Speaking about the frozen fruits, I assume that this is subject to your analysis in your companies. We are talking about customer preferences. What elements do most affect on buyers to buy something, to opt for one product and not for the other? We focused on private label, private brands. About 60 or 70% of producers are the private brands of big supermarkets. The rest is our brand. It depends on the market. I mentioned Germany a few minutes ago, but the prices also affect the buyer's decision. But we can see some changes in consumption patterns. On some market, the quality is number one, like Middle East, Emirates, or Dubai. The consumers are very, very demanding, and they are ready to pay even a higher price if the quality is good. So we cannot give a general opinion because it depends on the market. Even within the Europe, markets are different. So that's, to summarize, the price and the qualities are the focus, are the key elements. Sometimes we were ready to lower the price, sometimes they were ready to reach out to us, do some compromises, etc. And one more question before we hear the audience and give them opportunity to ask questions. I would like to know, what are the key marketing certificates on the UK markets for Serbian fruits and vegetables? What are the key certificates?
I would say global gap as a minimum, and if you intend to offer to retailers, then SMETA. But I have to say as well that in the wholesale markets, we can get away with no certification.
A što bi bila vaša poruka kompanijama iz naše zemlje I evo našim proizvođačima?
What would be your message for our producers and companies whose representatives would be on at this fair? What would be your message to all of them?
What would be my message? My message would be proud of your work, present it well, select it well. Don't be afraid to ask questions and to experiment with small volumes to see how it's received on the markets.
Hvala. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions from the audience? we finished with our questions. At least I ask our questions I have prepared. Would you like to ask anything, some of our panelists? If not, I would take this opportunity to ask one more question regarding the message. Since we are living in a turbulent times, not only politically but generally, because of the war in Ukraine, this is a global agro crisis. What would be your message, not only for producers, but also for the message for the companies in the fruit and vegetable sector? Anna? I think that the good message would be not to give up. That would be one of the messages. It's a complex process with a lot of players, and we all should support each other, and we should make a system in which we all would be satisfied. As Veljko said in his previous presentation, a big problem is in our attitude, in our approach. We cannot unite or reach some kind of agreement about the price, for example, which would mean a lot to all of us. So I think we should work more on that, apart from education, which is definitely necessary for all of us in this change, particularly for the producers. So in our sector, there are many things we cannot impact or affect, climate changes, wars, etc., etc. Each season is a new challenge. After decades working in the berry sector, we think that we closed the circle, we learned everything, and then something happens that completely change our dynamics and plan. Each year is specific. We have to be patient, tolerant, and try to support each other in the whole chain. Thank you very much. Mr. Novaković, it's the same question. It is the same question for you. What is the message? I agree with my colleague. We have to cooperate more in the export sector and to have more meetings among the exporters in Serbia. They have to establish better relationship in order to achieve better placement on world markets. As a total exporter, generally we are not a big number for the European Union, but with many agreements and united approach to the world market, we could achieve better results. Is there any association of exporters? I don't think we have it officially. We don't have any associations. Only people who cooperate, who know each other, they somehow communicate. But I think that we have to have some more organizations which would deal with exporters. So one of the messages from this panel would be to form or establish one kind of association or organization. Mr. Abačić, what would be your message? I absolutely agree with my colleagues, but I would also add one more thing, is transparency and share of knowledge, exchange of knowledge of all participants, to organize more meetings or talks in which we can help each other even more, because, as I said, we are on the same boat, including producers, manufacturers, final consumers. Each of us in this chain who stands out can disturb this change. So the share of knowledge, particularly in frozen fruit sector, when we exchange some experiences at various fairs, I think that these knowledge and messages should be shared with other participants. We should exchange both positive and negative experiences. We should discuss more, talk more. We should be psychologically more transparent, that we we work together, that each link in this chain is very important. Thank you very much. Another opportunity or chance for audience to ask a question. If not, I would like first of all to thank our panelists and thank you for your strong messages. And we have come to a conclusion again that without united, if we are not united, we cannot achieve big results, no matter which sector we are talking about. Definitely unification, harmonization, and working together is the key. Thank you very much. So in the next session we will talk about, we will hear something more about the financing of this sector.
Thank you very much for the excellent presentation. Thank you very much, dear guests, for your attention. Please join us at the final panel. It is about financing models of the Serbian agriculture in 2025. The moderator of this panel will be Goran Eder from the Broadcasting Company of Vojvodina. The panelists are Slobodan Nikolovski, Director of the Administration of Agrarian Payments, Savo Savičević, Secretary for Agriculture of the City of Belgrade, and Milan Stevanović, SCAP, Competitive Agriculture Project Coordinator.